What's going on, everyone? Today I will be making a Seahawks themed Razer Chroma profile for you guys. I know not all of you are going to be a Seahawks fan, so if you would like to follow along with the tutorial of this video and make a design based off of your own favorite team, then I highly encourage you watch the tutorial to this video. For those of you that are Seahawks fans, I will be leaving a link in the description where you can go to my website and download this design for your Razer Chroma keyboards. The design is going to have 6 different options for you guys to display on your keyboard. When you download the profile, you're going to have several different options over here on the left. Just make sure that the eye icon is enabled, and also make sure that every other layer here is disabled. Using a wave effect layer, I'm going to be using the primary colors of the football team, and I'm going to use them to display a number on the keyboard itself. So that number could be a player number, it could be something that's significant like the 12th man flag, or in your case you could probably just go with some letters if it fits you best. We're going to get right into this video and I'm going to show you guys how to make a football themed profile. Let's go. All right, here we go with the Seahawks or NFL themed Razer Chroma profile. If you've never made a custom lighting profile, what you have to do is under the Synapse icon, make sure that you have the Chroma Studio module installed. Once that is installed, click on the Studio tab at the top and it's going to bring you to the customization window. From here, click on the 3 dots at the top middle and click add, and this is going to start a brand new profile for you guys. All right, guys, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Google and we're going to just type in whatever our team name is. So Seahawks colors. So from here, you should see a link from teamcolorcodes.com. Just click on that. It's gonna give you the hex color code to all of the colors that your team uses. If you have additional devices other than a keyboard that you're using, we're gonna start with that first. Up here in the upper left corner under spectrum cycling, click on those 3 dots and we're gonna change that to a wave. Now with this wave layer that we just threw in here, we're gonna double click on any of the affected lighting zones and we're gonna click on this color drop down. And the first thing we wanna do is we wanna add our team colors into our color palette. If your color palette is full, like mine is here, you can just right click on any of these bottom row colors and click delete. Right click, delete, right click, delete, right click, delete. You should only need 3, maybe 4 colors max. We're gonna click on this first node and we're gonna click in this hex and we're gonna change it to one of our colors that we got from the website. So for the Seahawks blue, it's gonna be 002244. Once we have that pulled up there, we're just gonna click this plus sign right here, and that's gonna add that blue color to our color palette down here. We're gonna click on this second one, and we're gonna add our second color, so the Seahawks green color. Double click in here on the hex code, and just change the hex code to whatever the color it is that you're using. This is going to be the Seahawks action green. Once we have that pulled up, we just hit the plus sign and it's going to add it to our palette. And last but not least, click on this third node here. This is going to be the wolf gray that the Seahawks use. Double click in here, change the hex code to match the wolf gray, just like that. And I'm going to click the plus sign to add it to my color palette. Next, what we're going to do is we're actually going to change this color gradient to a 5 node pattern, just like this. Okay, so this first node we're going to set to our third color, or not, one of our colors that is not our main color. So Seahawks are typically blue and green, right? So I'm going to go with the gray, and I'm just going to drag this second node right here all the way over to the left, and I'm going to make it one of my primary colors. So we got blue. I'm gonna click this plus symbol, and that's gonna duplicate that blue node to the right. And I'm gonna drag that over to this black node in the middle. This middle node, I'm gonna make it the gray color, the wolf gray. And then I'm gonna go to this green node here, drag that over to the middle, and I'm gonna make it my other primary color, so green. I'm gonna hit the plus sign to duplicate that and drag this over to the last node here. This last node, I'm gonna make wolf gray once again. All right, that looks good. We kind of have a wave pattern going on our keyboard right now. This layer is gonna be for our additional devices, not for our primary keyboard. So what I'm gonna do with this layer is I'm going to check this split option, and then I'm gonna go to my keyboard, highlight the keys on my keyboard, just the keys, and hit the delete key. So now all of our additional devices and the lighting around my keyboard is showing this effect pattern. This part is a little bit time consuming. I'm just gonna select the lighting zones on each device, click the color drop down, and I'm gonna make each device unique from one another. For my speaker here, I highlight the lighting zones for that device only, click the color drop down, and I'm going to change the last digit on the hex code. And it changes it just a little tiny bit. You see how the wave on this speaker right here looks a lot different than the wave on this speaker. And that's because the wave is only using this area to run its course, where this wave pattern shares an area with my other devices. So it has to span this entire area to get through its wave pattern. So that's why they look a little bit different, and that's why I changed them up. So if you want your devices to look a little bit better like this, go through each device, make these color nodes different from one another by just changing the last value. So if I just change this wolf gray, if I change it from an F to an E and hit save, then you can see these two devices are now operating unique from every other device on your setup. Now I've gone through on all of my devices and I've made each one unique, and you can see how they're acting separately from one another. This is exactly what we want. From here on out, we're gonna just focus on the keyboard itself. So I'm gonna hold Control and scroll wheel up to zoom in on my keyboard. With this first layer we made, I'm just gonna double click on that and name that to background. And the next thing we're gonna do for this design is we're going to add a new wave layer. So add a brand new wave layer. And before we move on, we're just gonna click on one of these lighting zones, any lighting zone that you have, and hold Control and press C to copy it. And then we're gonna add a brand new wave layer. With this new wave layer selected, we're gonna select all of the keys on our keyboard, hold Control and press V to paste that in. On this layer, we're going to uncheck the split option, and we're gonna make our width 400%. What we're going to do is we're going to hold Control, and we're just gonna select the keys that make the shape of our 12. So you can see here, I have a 1 and a 2. I'm making the shape of a 12. What we're gonna do with this layer is we're just going to flip the colors here. So the blue nodes, we're gonna make green, and the green nodes, we're gonna make blue. Hit save. Now, if you look at this design, it looks like it works decently well. However, with this white wave that goes across, you can see on the 12 itself, there's a little bit of a delay in that white light, and it's not quite in sync with the light that's coming over. So we're gonna fix that real quick. The reason that we have this issue is because the wave effect that's on our 12 keys only has to span this distance right here, just these sets of keys, where the background spans the distance of the entire keyboard. So because that area is larger, the wave pattern is going to look a little bit different. So what we're going to do with the 12 effect is make that the same distance. So copy the effect on your 12. Now we're going to select any key on this left side and our farthest right possible option on the right side and paste in the 12 effect. So now you can see the light is perfectly in sync with the other lighting. We're going to click on the effect that makes up our background here. So just double click on that, Control C to copy that. We're going to add a brand new wave layer. And with this new wave layer right here, we're just going to cover up the Control key and our volume key up here that we use to match the 12. Just Control V to paste on that background lighting, and that will mask anything you did for those two keys. And then we're gonna hit save. That is all it takes to make a number. Now I'm gonna show you guys how to do the audio meter for this effect. Next, we're gonna add an audio meter layer. With this audio meter layer, we're going to select all of the keys on our keyboard. Under the properties, I like to change it up to 1.5. That's what makes my audio meter work best. according to my audio settings that I have on my keyboard. You may have to tweak this a little bit to make sure the audio shows up better on your guys' own setup. Click on your color gradient drop down, and we're gonna choose this 3-node pattern right here. So you got a blue, white, and a red. With this first node, we're going to make that our darkest color, okay? So I'm gonna make it blue. The second node in here is gonna be my accent color, so the wolf gray. I'm gonna make it wolf gray. And then the third color here is gonna be our lighter color. So I'm gonna go with the green. And we're gonna just drag these nodes all together on the lower end of our gradient bar right here. Just like this. So you got a little bit of blue with our accent color separating our other primary color. And with all of these keys selected, we're gonna hold Control, and we're just gonna deselect a portion of the middle of our keyboard. Just like that. Just deselect these keys right in the middle of our keyboard. Click on our color drop down, and we're gonna just drag these nodes over a little bit. Hold Control. We're going to deselect another set of 2 keys to the left of this area and to the right. So we're going to just start deselecting outward as we go. So I made our deselected area a little bit bigger, and now I'm going to click and drag the nodes a little bit. Hold Control. Deselect a new area a little bit outside of the previous one. Just like that. Click and drag. Deselect some more keys. Click on our color drop down and drag. And deselect some more keys. Deselect. And this is going to be our last adjustment here. What we're going to do is we're going to click on our color drop down. We're going to drag it over just like that. That looks good. But we're going to take this green node here and we're going to actually make it disappear. We're going to delete that. So you just have the blue and the white. So here I'm just going to play a little bit of music so that you guys see what this audio meter looks like. And that's really all it takes to make this design. If you're feeling fancy, you can add a reactive layer. So click on that reactive and just select all of your keys. And I would make this color our accent color, so the wolf gray, and hit save. So now whenever you touch the keyboard, you're gonna see that accent color that you have for your team. That's gonna do it for the tutorial portion of this video. Please stay tuned to watch the showcase on what this design looks like on my setup. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That way you guys don't miss out on future Razer keyboard lighting designs. Each week I do release a new profile every Friday. I also go live every Wednesday and create a profile with you guys. So if you guys feel like tuning into that, I also create a special members only profile for all of my YouTube members, and that's available on my Discord channel once you become a member. Thank you guys so much for the support that I've received on this channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video.